I am Ben Schwartz. Joining me here is Jayson Jorgensen. Jayson, we are here gathered today to bury legends and leaders. I'll get out of your way.
Legends and leaders.
Legends and
An
leaders.
idea that came up after Nebraska joined the Big Ten. The Big Ten has done a lot of good things. That was not one of them, going with legends and leaders. I'm not quite sure which focus group told Commissioner Jim Delaney and the rest of the presidents and chancellors, it'll be great. It'll be great.
I think the median age for the people who made that decision was probably about 79 years old.
Here's the thing. I never had a problem with it. I never could remember which one was which.
Yeah.
And
Were you ever even capable of saying legends and leaders without rolling your eyes?
Well, you got used to it after a while, but even last fall I was discussing the Big 12 with somebody, and they're like, well, we're in the Legends division, but no. They're going east-west now when they expand to 14 schools, which makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, they didn't want to go straight by straight geography the first time because they were worried about a competitive balance. And I think part of the reason was that they were receiving a school in Nebraska that had been in a conference with where the geographic conferences were not that competitive. It was dominated by schools from the South in the Big 12. So I saw where the Big Ten was coming with that. You could have come up with Conference A, Conference B, anything would have been better than legends and leaders. Did you ever meet one person who thought that was a good idea?
No. Did you?
No. No.
Now, east-west, that's something that the common man can wrap his hands around, and understand that. And you mentioned the competitive disadvantage. Well, in the end, after they add Maryland and Rutgers, if you look at this just as a straight football standpoint, and I'm sure that's not what the Big Ten's doing, but the West, you have Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Northwestern, and Purdue. The East looks a whole lot stronger as it stands now with Indiana, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Rutgers, and Penn State.
And Maryland.
Yes.
I
could forget Maryland?
I guess just sort of winging it here, I would say that perhaps the West would be stronger top to bottom. There's not really any. There's no like Indiana's bottom feeder. There aren't really any bottom feeders. There's a lot of 6 and 7 win teams in the West. Does that mean that 8 wins is all it's going to take to make it to the Big Ten championship? Who knows?
Also, it will be interesting to see how things shake out when they go with their crossover games, and then they expand the schedule. They want to add another conference game, which makes sense to me. Play more conference games and lining up some shield non-conference opponent that nobody really cares about, because we all saw last fall we don't need another Idaho State.
If Nebraska never does that again, that would be just fine. Tom Osborne said he scheduled that game because he needed it to balance his budget. So if you give him another conference game, hopefully that would accomplish that, and we wouldn't have to. Because what I was always afraid of, and we made it through the Callahan era and the first few years of the Pelini era without it happening, I was worried that we were going to get Appalachian stated like Michigan did.
That would not be good. So if there's already one positive to come out of the Big Ten, allowing Rutgers and Maryland to join, is that we've gotten rid of legends and leaders.
Rest in peace. For KRVN, I'm Ben Schwartz. That's Jayson Jorgensen.